The fire crackled, sending warmth and light into the cool night air. The flames danced and flickered, casting shadows that seemed to come alive. Sparks danced into the night sky like tiny fireflies taking flight. Each ember carried a piece of their stories, their laughter, and their dreams. A symphony of crickets chirped, creating a natural melody that blended with the crackling fire. The forest was alive with sounds, a living, breathing entity. It was a perfect night for friends in the wilderness. The air was crisp, the sky clear, and the stars shone brightly above them like diamonds scattered across a velvet canvas. Deep in the woods, they felt a million miles away from everything. This was their escape from the hustle and bustle of daily life. John stoked the flames, adding another log to keep the fire burning bright. Emily and Sarah chatted softly, their voices blending with the night sounds. They shared stories, secrets, and dreams, their bond growing stronger with each word. Mark gazed at the star-studded sky, feeling a sense of wonder and peace. The vastness of the universe made their worries seem small and insignificant. The peace was almost tangible, wrapping around them like a comforting blanket. The forest seemed to hold its breath, as if sharing in their moment of tranquility. This was their yearly tradition, a time to reconnect with nature and each other. They looked forward to this trip all year, planning and dreaming of the adventures they would have. They always felt at home in the heart of nature. The forest was their sanctuary, a place where they could be themselves, free from the constraints of society. They never suspected this year would be different. They felt safe and secure, surrounded by the familiar sights and sounds of the forest. They never imagined the terror that awaited. The forest, once a place of peace and comfort, would soon become a place of fear and uncertainty. The laughter subsided. A comfortable silence fell over the group. John added another log to the fire. It sparked and popped, sending embers spiraling upwards. It was then that Mark noticed it, a subtle change in the atmosphere. The crickets had gone silent. He scanned the darkness beyond the firelight. His eyes strained in the shadows. Something felt off. He couldn't place his finger on it, but a shiver ran down his spine. He dismissed it as his imagination. He hoped he was right. John broke the silence, his voice cutting through the still night air. "Anyone else think it got quiet?" he asked, chuckling nervously, trying to mask his unease. Emily and Sarah exchanged glances and brushed it off, laughing lightly to ease the tension. But Mark's eyes were fixed on a point just beyond the firelight, his face growing pale. A large, hairy spider descended from a tree, its legs moving with eerie precision. It hung suspended, its multiple eyes gleaming ominously in the firelight. Mark's blood ran cold as he realized what he was seeing. He pointed, his voice a choked whisper. "Look over there!" They followed his gaze, their smiles vanishing instantly as fear took hold. It wasn't just one spider. The trees seemed to come alive with movement. Dozens of them hung from every tree, their webs glistening eerily in the firelight. They were surrounded, trapped in a nightmare of eight-legged horrors. Panic seized them. Emily screamed. Sarah froze, paralyzed with fear. John scrambled to his feet, knocking over their supplies. Mark grabbed Sarah's arm. "We have to get out of here!" They bolted towards their tents, the only sanctuary in sight. The forest floor seemed to writhe around them. Spiders of all shapes and sizes scurried in the undergrowth. Each rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sounded like the approach of something sinister. They didn't dare slow down, not even for a second. They reached their tents, a jumbled mess of limbs and terror. Fumbling with the zippers, they scrambled inside. Safety, however fleeting, enveloped them. But their relief was short-lived. A horrifying sight awaited them. The tents, their supposed sanctuary, were already crawling with spiders. Hundreds of tiny eyes glinted in the dim light. They were trapped, their haven transformed into a prison. The air grew thick with fear. They huddled together, their breathing shallow and rapid. The longest night of their lives stretched on. Every second felt like an eternity. Outside, the spiders maintained their silent vigil. They were prisoners in their own nightmare. Hope seemed to dwindle with each passing hour, but then a faint glimmer appeared on the horizon. Dawn, their salvation. As the first rays of sunlight pierced through the trees, the spiders retreated. The forest floor, previously teeming with horrors, was now just a carpet of glistening morning dew. They emerged from their tents, shaken and exhausted. The forest, once a source of joy and adventure, now filled them with dread and unease. The trees, which had once seemed so welcoming, now loomed like dark sentinels. They packed their gear with frantic haste, their movements fueled by adrenaline and terror. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig heightened their sense of urgency. Every shadow seemed to hold the promise of eight-legged nightmares. The darkness played tricks on their minds, making them see things that weren't there. They wouldn't rest until they were far, far away. The thought of safety was a distant dream, one they could only hope to reach. They left the campsite behind, their escape a blur. The once cozy site now felt like a trap, a place they had to flee from. They swore never to return. The experience had marked them deeply, a scar that would never fully heal. The forest held too many dark secrets, too many chilling memories. It was a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurred. From that day forward, they carried a newfound respect for the wilderness. They understood that nature, while beautiful, could also be unforgiving and cruel. Now, how many of you left your tents unzipped? Ha ha ha.